Hey YouTube, I've been in YouTube prison for 2 weeks. I uploaded a video called Fantasy and Reality, and it was just facts, nothing else. And yet some liberal woke thin-skinned person decided to flag that one, or maybe a viewer flag it as hate speech, and there was nothing of it. Absolutely nothing. And I appealed it, and I kept appealing it by writing them directly, because there wasn't any of that stuff. I've learned by mistake. I don't do that anymore. But nevertheless, they stood firm on their belief that there was some kind of hate in it. Whatever. Well, everything is turning into China standards these days, unfortunately. It's a little sad, isn't it? But first day, there was this massive storm coming through in North Texas and Oklahoma, and I was in the middle of it. And you can actually see this is me driving right now, headed north towards Hazlet, where the BNSF rail is. I drive intermodal containers, ships containers. And I came down from San Antonio, and already here you can see there is something going on in the horizon. There's this line and darkness underneath, but this I have never ever experienced in my life before. This is the wildest storm I have ever seen in my life. But nonetheless, Wire Paladin says, thanks Henning, hope you and your family as well can be. Things sure changing fast. These fools better realize what fixing to happen and get themselves right. They're acting like all is well and they can get on with their next, to hell. Just started watching a video now. Know I will love it. Keep it safe. It's the latest from Around the World. No, it's not. As I said, I got in YouTube prison for 2 weeks, so I actually uploaded 3 episodes of Around the World for the last 3 weeks. So they are in succession after each other on my channel, so you can take it from the end days, and then the next one, and then the next one, so we can see how it progresses. But as you see here, I am coming through Alvarado on 35W North, and now you can see things are beginning to look much different than you saw a little earlier, and that is because it's going to be interesting with straight line winds of 80 miles an hour. We did not experience that, or maybe we did. We have a street sign out here in my city where I live, a big steel construction, one of those big sturdy ones. It freaking broke off and landed in a residential garden. You believe that? It just snapped. So there must have been some pretty good wind gusts there. But as you see here now, it's like I'm riding on what can you call it, on hyper speed, even though this is normal speed, as you see, from day to night, literally. Wire Paladin also says, unfortunately, he's only getting $846 a month, and that includes Social Security and veteran check. Well, that's not really a nice way of doing it towards people who have served our country. I don't think so. I think that's bloody, that's mean. And I've got one more here somewhere. Here, Miss Colorado is saying, good listening, thank you Henning. I was worried about you and family, wondering if you were impacted by any tornadoes. No, I was not, thank goodness. But look at that. Just take a look at that, right? literally from day to darkness. In the past few days, she says, hope all is well with you and your family. God bless you. Yeah, I'm okay. But I was not okay driving here, to be quite honest. This is before the precipitation begins. And you see, I came in with just overcast. And look at that. It literally looked like I drove into hell. Or something like that. Just look at that. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. This is the darkest sky I have ever seen at 7 p.m. in the evening, where it's still daylight. A lot of daylight. No, I'm not even 7 o'clock. I think it's around 6:30, I believe, that I entered this storm, or got under the cloud of this storm. In the end of the video, there's a couple of screenshots. I think there's 5 of them showing the progression of the storm, and that little orange dot you see on the map, that's me. That's my location. And those 5 screenshots is chronological order, so you can see how it progresses and how a bloody train comes by. And you know, with all these 12, 13 train derailments, I'm freaking worried about a train derailment in my town. That wouldn't be good. That would not be good at all. So I'm still in Alvarado here, coming into Burleson, and this is where things are going to get dicey. And it's going to be, I can't explain it. It is literally like the darkness is in the atmosphere, not above me, but in the atmosphere. It gets so dark you can barely see anything. And already here you can see I've slowed down. I'm down at 40 miles an hour. I came from 65, and then I dropped to 40, because now I began to feel the brunt of the wind gust. And I'm driving an 18-wheeler, meaning I'm driving a 53 times 13.2 feet sail, literally, on the road. The side of a trailer is like a sail if the wind comes perpendicular to you. And ship's containers are waffled on the side. That means that the wind is not exactly moving smoothly around on the trailer. It's actually having a lot of resistance. And when the wind meets something like that resistance, it's going to push even more on my trailer and make it even more difficult for me to keep everything on, you know, in check. But I am a professional driver, and I take this job very serious. I know there's a lot of people, they look down at truck drivers, and not even realizing that a few millions plus me are actually making sure that you're staying alive, meaning you get your coffee, you get your bloody baby back ribs and your steaks and your potatoes, your fresh produce, oil to your engines, and you get clean clothes on, because I drive soap once in a while. I just came back from Pineville, Procter & Gamble, picking up Tide soap for the dirty laundry they have over in California. So Moreno Valley it was going to. So I and million others are doing that job for you, and it's a freaking dangerous job. And Wire Paladin also says in his comment here, and he says that watch out for the idiots on the highway. Real dangerous out there these days. Yeah, I give you that, because I've been driving since 2012. I moved to Texas 8 years ago, no, 9 years ago. And, you know, when that thing we can't talk about broke out here in America and the rest of the world, I have seen from 2020 and until this day that the way people are driving is significantly less attentionate and far more impulsive, reckless. And I honestly think it has something to do with what they did to themselves out of fear, or out of they had to, or whatever. But I have seen a decline in quality of driving. And as far as I know, Texas has now for the third year in a row been deemed as the worst drivers in America. That's a hat trick. That ain't good. That's really bad. But I'm driving in it 5 days a week. I'm in Texas 5 days a week. I'm not out of state more than one night, and then I come back. I always start from the rail in Haslett, and then I go either to Oklahoma or south in Texas, east in Texas, never west. We don't have any customers there. Don't know why. It's a big state. There should be plenty of opportunities, but this is what we have. And then I go to Louisiana, and the furthest east I go in Louisiana is Baton Rouge and Zachary. That's pretty much it, meaning I'm driving regional. I'm driving from Tuesday to Saturday, and then it's weekend back out Tuesday, and then we do it all over again. I never know anymore what kind of trips I get, because the structure in planning now has completely turned, and I don't know what's going on, and it doesn't help asking for something. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. That is trucking. As you see now on the video here, how much can you see now? I'm down at 30 miles an hour now, even slower here and there, because I was actually so terrified driving in this stuff and with that wind. And as you can see, like Wire Paladin, he was referring to that people are driving worse and worse. You can actually see how people are flying past me, even semi-trucks, and I find that pretty despicable. So this is how much I can see with my own two eyes. This is what you're looking at now. That is very low visibility. It is, like I said, it literally looked like the darkness was part of the air, not just the clouds covering the daylight out. Literally, it was in the air. That's what it looks like. You can't see much. That's why I was going so slow. 2 reasons. Nah, 3 reasons. 1, I have a big sail behind me, 53 by 13.2 feet. That's a big sail. Plus, I have to be able to correct for wind gusts. You see, the faster you go when wind hits you perpendicular, I'm not going north and the storm is coming from the west, so you know where the wind is coming from. It's coming from that direction. So it's pretty much perpendicular. It was mostly northwest it came from, but it came from west here and there. Oh, you never know. It never came over from my right side. Only on my left side of my truck. So the slower you go with a big sail like that, that gives me time to correct my truck and my alignment in the lane. The faster I go, the faster I run over in a lane next to me or off the road. Therefore, if you're driving like an idiot like Texans are doing in weather like this with high winds, well, it's going to go wrong. Sooner or later, one day your luck is freaking up. You can see how much it's raining. You see the lights look like, meaning the spotlight, they look like twinkling stars. That's how bad it is. You can even see the raindrops in the video footage here, being lit up, being inside the camera's view. It kind of looks like snowflakes, but it's not. It's rain. I wouldn't say that the raindrops were big, but there was a lot of them, as you can see. It was really bad. So now I'm in Burleson still, and I'm now coming down to the 12-mile stretch from there up to I-30, where we are driving in 3 lanes, from 2 lanes to 3 lanes, because there's a lot of pressure on the traffic in the morning hours. Going north towards Fort Worth, it's a nightmare sitting there. If I'm coming from Hillsboro, having 68 miles to the rail, from that, that's just before 35E and 35W begins, it will take me in rush hour in the morning 2 hours to get there. And it's only 68 miles. That I should be able to complete in 75 minutes. But no, it takes 2 hours. That's how hard pressed the traffic is, and more people are moving to Texas. They ain't gonna make it any easier for us. But now I'm on that stretch, approximately 8 miles from I-20, and after that, no, not 8, 6 miles from I-20, and then there's additional 6 miles up to downtown Fort Worth from there. So that's 12 miles. It's okay to leave Fort Worth in the morning. I can fly right through. Nobody is wanting to go south of Fort Worth in the morning, pretty much. Yeah, there is traffic, but for the most part, I am out on the other side, left alone, because I like to be left alone. I really don't like driving on interstate. Sometimes I have to, but I'm not so keen on it anymore because the lack of respect, the attention. Yeah, as I started my video with, the way people are driving today is absolutely beyond disgrace, to say the least. But I must admit, I wanted to get home to my girl, my babies. That's my dogs. You know my dogs, Cricket and Roga. And of course my lovely Elma girl, my wife. So I put it in my mind, said a prayer that bring me home. So I went through this, literally looking like hell. Look how much you can see now. You can barely see anything. I could barely see the stripes. That's why also I was going so slow. You need to be also, the first thing I missed was you also have to be able to brake. When truck brakes get wet, super wet, they don't brake as efficient as a disc brake. Far from it. First of all, you have to see what's going on. That's 1 second. Then there's 1 more second to process what's going on and make the decision to put your foot on the brake. And then there's an additional second before the brakes actually fully engage in the drum. Plus there is slippage, because there's water inside between the drum and the brake pad. That water has to be pressed out first before the brake pad can actually engage the drum. So you're actually 4 seconds behind in conditions like this. So if I'm flying like that white pickup, typical white pickups, you freaking dumb. I mean, every time I see a guy in a white pickup, I'm just thinking, here's an idiot coming down the road. Because they are driving primarily like idiots. White pickups, period. Especially in Texas. It's bad. It's really bad. They think they're invincible. I don't know if it's about the color. They think they're some kind of angel on 4 wheels, that they are immortal. I don't know. I really don't know. But you saw how fast he was going. You don't drive that fast in those conditions. Unless you're an idiot. And that one too. A little too fast. And a little too fast. There's a BMW. There's a Honda Civic. Bloody ugly car. I don't like the new Civics. Period. I like the old ones, not the new ones. I don't know what they look like. Look like an EV. They're ugly. A lot of ugly cars coming out. Isn't it weird when it comes to EV or electrical vehicles? Why the hell do they have to make them so ugly? Is it because they have to stand out as being some sort of, you know, this is an electrical vehicle. Look at me. Look how ugly designed I am. Seriously. Why do they? Have you seen Amazon's new electrical vehicles? It freaking look like a bug on 4 wheels. It is disgusting looking. Ew. No, they don't make cars anymore. They used to, but not anymore. Today it's just plastic on 4 wheels. Pretty much. They have a little accident, they're already totaled. Because there's all these safety features, crimp zones, impacts and airbags and blah 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 blah, in order to save human life. And I don't understand why they want to make the cars so bloody safe, when I have told you for the last decade they want to kill us. So why don't they just make cars that kill people on collisions? Problem solved. Diminishing the numbers of useless eaters, as they call us. Right? No. They have to have this kind of standards in order to be able to drive on the road. Yeah, whatever. But as you see, this is not funny. I am not enjoying it. At the end of this video, I observe being in the Texas Express lane from Fort Worth down to up to I-820, and there is a Walmart truck flipped over against the concrete barrier that splits the 35W express lane and 820 East express lane, right there. And I had to go straight, but I couldn't, so I had to detour around. And I was low on time because I had to go that slow. I would have had plenty of time to get there, not a problem. I would have had 1.5 hours on me. But this storm, that is different. You see how much spray there is from the wheels? You see that? That is some serious water on the road. Look at him. Let's go. Right? Let's go. I'm busy. Well, flatbed has got another advantage over big trailers like me, and that is they don't got a big sail. They just got this bed, this skateboard to drive with. So they're a little more, they might get luckier than I am. So I was actually driving there, and I really didn't know if I would be hit by a 60 miles to 80 miles an hour wind gust. It does not matter how heavy your truck is. If you're weighing up to 80,000 pounds, which is the limit, and you being hit by a 60 miles an hour straight line wind or wind gust, that's going to flip your truck on your side. It doesn't matter how heavy it is, it just flips. 80 miles an hour, well, that's 1/3 extra speed or extra force that the wind is hitting you with. that will definitely tip you over and slide you somewhere. And you don't know when you flip where you end up. You really don't. But the wheel's not on the road, you have no control. It's game over. You can hope that you make it. That's it. Hope, pray. Because you don't know where you're going to end up. You've got no control over it. Look at this guy there. Let's go. Yeah, there's no tomorrow. Let's fly. What if you have to brake flat better? What are you going to do with all that weight? You're going to stop it? No. You're going to run straight into what you're trying to avoid. Or jackknife. And then kill some more people in the process. Most likely. That's why I'm going so slow. I want to make absolutely sure there's not a mix-up of any kind. That's not a situation I want to be in. I don't want to do all that paperwork. I don't want to talk to safety about it. I don't want to talk to my fleet manager about it. I don't want to talk to the authorities about it. Because my truck have a black box. They would know what speed I was driving at the time of the incident. Yeah, you didn't know that. Yeah. Semi-trucks today, they got a black box that's monitoring everything. With your engine, your speed, everything. Pretty much like an airplane. It does not yet record audio. Or maybe it does, I don't know. And if it does, I don't want to know about it. Because then, you know, then I feel like I'm driving in China. So it also being told by OTP Meter, Luciana Cara, that people in China along the Yangtze River has been banned from fishing. And she's asking, is it going to be because they are starving people to death, or is it because of pollution, radioactivity? I don't know. I know that China, they don't respect human life in any form or fashion. They only respect their own party. The rest can sail. And the funny thing is, they're calling it the People's Republic of China. What an oxymoron. Because what does the people have of rights in China? They got no rights. So how can it be People's Republic? It can only be the Communistic Party's republic. Because everything is for the party. It's not for the people. That's the same mistake the Russian Soviet Union did. That they called it the people's, let's say, property, when the reality was that the property belonged to the state, to whoever dictator they had there at that time. Stalin, Khrushchev, Brezhnev, you know, Lenin. Everything was transferred to the government. And that's exactly the same model that the New World Order is going to ram down your throat, whether you like it or not. That's the model. I don't care if it's communism or it's fascism. It does not matter, because those two are the same thing on the same coin. It's just each side of the coin. It's the same. Like I said to you about the Democratic Party and the Republicans, that I don't understand why you even bother. Because they're standing on each side of the street, and down that street is a slithering serpent. And each party is just working each side of the street like prostitutes and pimps, and worshipping that serpent that is slithering down the street, meaning Satan. That's politics for you. There's absolutely no honesty in politics. None. There never will be. And democracy, that's such an oxymoron too, because history proves that democracy always ends up in tyranny. America was founded as a republic. It is not a democracy, and they keep talking about democracy on TV. Have you noticed that? Especially Biden. Democracy, democracy, We must preserve democracy. Oh, why don't you just come out of the closet and say, we must support tyranny. We must support tyranny. We must protect and preserve tyranny at any cost. Because that's really what democracy is tyranny by vote. So I've said that. Oh, wait a minute. I can say that after what I'm going to show you now. This is spectacular. Just wait for it. 20 seconds. Well, the difference between socialism and communism is socialism is dictatorship by vote. Communism is dictatorship by the barrel of a gun. That's the only difference. Pick and choose. So here we go. Watch this. Watch. Boom. Now half speed. Boom. 25%. Just wait for it. Kapow. Now 5%. Coming. I didn't edit it. I just cut them down. You'll see it. Don't worry. It's so bad, this lightning strike. My camera's sensors was, what do you call it, flooded. They couldn't handle all that light. In that darkness and that rain, that's how much light there was. You can see that line up in the top of the screen. That's my sensors there. That's the line. That's the sensor. And now, complete whiteout. They can't follow it. It's too bright. The camera don't got time enough to put the reduced light on. Even though I'm running my camera full automatic. The only thing I turn off is the auto zoom. I keep it at a certain zoom level, so there's a balance between what's close and near. That's very important. If I run it on auto zoom, it zooms on what is in front of me, and then it zooms on something that is 2 miles ahead, and then everything in front of me on the video recording would be completely blurred out. So I choose the middle way, naturally. And I am not even in downtown Fort Worth yet. Between I-20 and I-30 is 6 miles. And already here I would be able, on normal conditions, to see the skyrise at Fort Worth to the left in the picture. Meaning at 10 o'clock in that angle. They should be right there at the towers. I don't see anything. I couldn't see them until I was straight on them. But you won't see them on the camera, on the recording. You can't see downtown. It is unbelievable dark. You imagine driving in that? What is going on? It's still daylight above the clouds. That's just insane. I have never seen something like this before in my life. And to be honest, as I probably said earlier, I was scared. What the hell is going on here? How can it be so dark? It was, whoa man, it was like a Stephen King movie. The only thing that breaks the darkness is a couple of flashes in the sky once in a while. That's it. The rest is just pitch black. What? Yikes. I am 1.25 miles from downtown Fort Worth. And here's the next sign saying 1 mile. Now I'm changing lane because I'm seeking there to get in the Texas Express lane 35W north, because I don't like to be out around all these numbnuts because they don't know what they're doing. It's going too fast. Now that's 1 mile to downtown. Can you see downtown over on the left side? Can you see the high rises? Nope. That's how heavy the rain is. That's how dark it is. I could see it out of the window. There wasn't a light outage, a power outage at all. There was where I live, on the east side of the rail going through. Everything was black, no power, and everything on the west side of the rail track had lights. It's just so weird. Oh, there, you see over there, very faint on the left. Yeah, you can see them. You can just barely see them. Right there. See that green sign there? That billboard? And right there, when I pass the information sign, and you look over there to the left, you can just faintly see a square lit up. That's downtown. That's crazy. That's just bloody nuts. So I have around 10 minutes left of this video, because I stopped the video right after I pass the Walmart truck. There is no point in continuing because it's just black. And I did explain to you why I ended up in YouTube prison, because China Jew think I'm excelling in hate speech. And I understand on the media that the Ukrainian having a fight of their life and they're doing well. Nothing could be further from the truth. All these young men that is put into the grinder to fight this hopeless battle, they're just gonna die. And from what I know is that fantastic leader, that gangster they have as a leader, he in 2014 to 15 carpet bombed Donbass, because that region of Ukraine wanted to assimilate to Russia because they don't feel like Ukrainians, they feel like they're Russians. So the gangster attacked them and killed many people. Nobody's talking about that. And freedom of speech is not existent in Ukraine. That's democracy for you. See what I just said earlier, that democracy always leads to tyranny, because Ukraine is democracy, right? Isn't that what Biden is always saying? That we must preserve the democracy of Ukraine, where there isn't any. TV station, radio stations that is anti the gangster are being shut down. Jews and Christians are being forced into the military, primarily into the grinder, to be killed in battle. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. That guy is such a good guy. Biden loves him because he is a real champion for democracy. That gangster there. To me, politicians today, they're nothing but gangsters. It's legalized crime. Rules for thee, not for me. That's how they do it. And we putting up with it again and again and again and again. It's like this endless screw. We're just being trodden down more and more and more and more until people just say, okay, here's my wrists, shackle me, I'm ready. Shackle me forever until I die. I am so ready, because I've been conditioned so nicely by your democracy. I believed in my democracy, and now you stand here with a barrel of a gun against my head and wants to put handcuffs on me. Yes, please, shackle me. Do thy will with me. I would rather say, do thy will, Father in heaven, with me, and listening to a gangster and his minions carrying out the gangster's orders, well knowing what they're doing. Their consciousness know what they're doing is wrong, and they shouldn't be doing it. You see, your soul cannot lie to you. Why? Because your soul belongs to God, to our Father in heaven. He gave you breath, and that in Jewish translation means soul. Soul means breath. You get me? So you belong to Him, our Father in heaven. You don't belong to man. You don't belong to gangsters. You don't belong to anybody except our Father in heaven. And I just wish you could get that through your head. I really do. I wish you could. Because that's the real deal. But maybe, just maybe, even though there's a stark attack on America from the inside, trail derailments, food processing plants blowing up, chicken farms blowing up, refineries blowing up, fertilizer factories blowing up, Chernobyl in East Palestine. Yeah, I would say that there is a war against you and I here in America, carried out by the gangsters. Weather modification, such as this storm probably is. Well, I went through it. I survived, which I'm grateful to our Father in heaven for, that He brought me home, because I got home that night. It wasn't easy. Well, our Father in heaven never said to us that it's going to be easy peasy. No, He actually requires you to work for it, and not just lean back and think you are scot-free. You're not. You have to contribute in a positive way. If you just want to run around smashing windows, burning buildings down, and screaming and shouting and chanting all kinds of vile out of your mouth, and don't want to lift a finger to actually be a part of the solution, I mean, you won't be a winner. You won't. You don't stand a fighting chance when everything falls apart, because you're not going to get Soros' paycheck anymore. You're not going to get the gangster's blessing for your violence that you're committing anymore. You're actually left for the mob that remembers who you are. And when the time comes and they recognize you out there on the street, they're not going to be a police officer or a gangster in suit and tie or anyone to protect you. You're on your own. So what I'm saying is, I've said that many times, if you choose in this time of day we are living in now to be self-serving, you are going to leave this world feet first, very fast. But if you take your Father in heaven, Jesus Christ, with you in your heart and in your soul, That is good news. Because if you die due to circumstances, you're going home. Right? Remember that. You're going home. You're safe. And nothing can take you from that salvation. But it requires you have Jesus, because nobody's coming before the Father but through Him. Period. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Remember that. That's all I have for you today. Here I'm coming up to where 35W Express is closed, and here lies a crushed Walmart semi-truck, fully loaded, destroyed, capsized because of a wind gust. There you are, destroyed, totally destroyed. Over and out. God bless you. Here's the pictures of what I was looking at, how it was unfolding. That's it. Got worse and worse looking, right? Yikes. Close. There you go. God bless you.